between my junior and senior year of high school in 2017, um, the the topic of senior quotes came up. And if you don't know what a senior quote is, it's just like a little blurb that goes with like your photo in the yearbook, which is just like a commemoration book of everybody that was at the school for that year. If you don't know what a yearbook is, but um, it's usually not more than like a few sentences. Like if like you get four in there, it's like crazy. But yeah, my graduating class, we were, you know, in that time kind of thinking about our own senior quotes and thinking about like how we were going to define ourselves from high school. Uh, anyway, I'll get into my senior quote in a bit, but I wanted to mention that the purpose of this video is to relay a message to everybody watching, and that is that I I would urge you. I'm not gonna force you, but I would urge you to um, really just like be kind. And I'll go into a little. I'll go into that later, but um, it's just something that I'd really ask everybody to like try and consider. Um, yeah, let's get into a little bit of the context of everything, and I'll start with talking about like that senior quote. Um, back in back in high school, I was like, I'm sure that like people that remember me from then, I don't know if I seemed like this, but I was like a really big bummer, and I was going through a lot of things all at the same time. I was coming to grips with some bullying from a few people, and like battling with really, really hard like self-criticism and like self-loathing. I was dealing with a couple of other things, but like I think you get the point. Like I was going through a lot, and on top of all of that, I was having like identity issues and trying to figure out what I wanted to do after high school. I had some idea, and even though I had like a pretty solid plan, there was a lot of struggle. Like, anyway, I'm getting lost in it, but essentially, I was going through a lot, and I was trying to find my way going forward, and soon I was gonna have to like kind of figure out what I was doing once I graduated. Um, and because of all that struggle and all of the problems that I was having, I was really fortunate to have like uh, a pretty solid support system, and I went and asked for help from teachers and a bunch of my friends, which kind of culminated in me learning that it was it was okay for me to not hate myself and to, treat myself with a little bit of respect and grace. And I didn't have to love myself. I just had to not be so hard on myself. Pause. But I was really going through it. I would constantly become so paralyzed by the fear of being a problem or being a burden, that I was not really worth the time and I had like no value. That like I wasn't really able to do all of the things that I really wanted to. But yeah, no, the people around me taught me that it's okay, that I'm allowed to, kind of relish in my own accomplishments, and I didn't have to be so critical of myself all the time, and that of course I'll make mistakes, but I do good. At least like when I do good, it's okay to celebrate that in myself and have a little bit of grace along the way. And because of all of that, I chose a senior quote that kind of reflected what I'd learned. And it's a bit cringe and corny, but I had went to Google Translate and gotten the result, which I'll put up on screen. It's a dead language, but I don't really want to butcher the pronunciation. I did look it up recently, and I think the understanding of Latin has changed since 2017 because it gives me a different result than back then. But that quote really encapsulated how I felt at the time. And I think it really helped to ground myself and remember that I don't really have to be perfect. I just have to do what I can, and that is more than enough to move forward. Yeah, it really helped get me through that last year of high school. And although obviously like it doesn't, like something like this doesn't just fix all of my problems, it allowed me to enjoy a lot of the moments more than I think I would have if I hadn't learned all of that. And that senior quote continues to be super important to me, enough so that it makes me a little emotional just thinking about it. But yeah, fast forward to now, and I'm past college, and it feels good to actually say that. But although I do regret going to college, but that's another story. The world is in a lot of ways like really in a shit spot. You're gonna have to forgive my language there, but the world at large is going through a bunch of global issues. The country I live in, the United States, is like in a very conflicted spot, I'd say, in a lot of ways. And in my own life, I'm going through a bit of hardship myself. I'm not really here to talk about any specific issues. That's I'm I feel for anybody going through hard times, and I don't I hope I hope that everybody's situations get better, um in any sense. But it's becoming more and more clear to me that um it's important to do your part in every way that you can, and that's what this video is for me. I I haven't been able to secure a job within like the field that I studied, which is graphic design or illustration. Literally anything creative. I haven't been able to kind of break into like any of those fields of industry. But if nothing else, like because I'm having such a hard time kind of, you know, making more income to support myself off of something that I've been trained in, I've created videos in the past. I know how to do it, and I think doing this is playing my part in a really small way, and I think it would be unfair to myself and to everybody that could be watching this, to not be reminded to be kind even in the little ways. I think that even if I'm struggling, and like finding it really hard to do what I can, I want to believe that there are things that we can do to make things feel more manageable. And when I say to like be kind and stuff, I think that means to both yourself and to others. I'm not telling you to love everybody, because I think that that's impossible and a bit naive. But what I'm saying is that like everybody is going through something, and to be rude or disrespectful when like you could just be patient and like nice and, you know, respectful, it's doing everyone a disservice to, you know, not treat your fellow person with some sort of grace. So this is really just like a reminder, or something that I'm asking you, whoever you are, please be nice.